is What's Good in Your Hood Sunday, and this is a special one. Every time I see her, I get a little mushy because she's my So Sweet Soror of Zeta Phi Beta Sorority Incorporated, and it is Sunday. It's What's Good in Your Hood Sunday. Just getting off our Founders Day, you know. Anyway, uh, Dr. Jimyse
Well,
Brown is
yes,
the
ma'am.
executive director over at Moonshot Museum. If you are in Pittsburgh, and you've never been to Moonshot Museum, you are so missing out on an amazing treat, not just for our babies, but for you. If you're an adult and you don't really know much about space, you should really learn a little bit more. As a matter of fact, Jimyse has been the one showing me about space, and Moonshot Museum is actually up one of the top 20 science museums in USA Today, of course, with our help in voting. But Dr. Brown, thank you for being on the show.
Oh, thank you for having me. I'm excited. It's always nice, when we're together. You're just a beacon of light. You're always a
Oh,
joy to be around. So I just appreciate the opportunity, to come on here and continue our conversation. So thank you for
girl.
what you do, you know what I mean, for everyone.
Listen, anytime you say, "Hey, Sora, I say less." It's not even an
Yep,
issue. And I
absolutely.
tell people so much that they need to know about Moonshot Museum, but of course you can explain it better. Real quick before you do though, let me
Yes.
just let folks know Moonshot Museum was a resource vendor at this year's Man Camp and Charm School here in the Still City last year around fall. And the kids loved it, just all the information, and the parents did too. I just didn't want to put them out there, but anyway, loved it. And so tell us why they loved it so much. What is Moonshot Museum? And now when you talk to me, it'd be like in technical terms. Everybody don't have a doctorate, sis, so I'm not saying dumb it down, but you know
Yeah,
what I
yeah,
mean. Just
yeah. All
help
right.
us out.
I'm gonna throw one aerospace in the
There you
explanation. Just
go.
one. Give me one aerospace. All
Okay.
right. But yeah, so Moonshot Museum is a space museum. And our two main focuses are on aerospace education and career readiness. And so we do that underneath the umbrella of helping people find their place in space. And so when I talk to the people, it's not about forcing them to be an astronaut. It's not about forcing them to be an engineer. We love our astronauts, we love our engineers, and we want to continue to support those who want to be those. But it's just shining a light on how their passions, how their skills could be utilized in the space industry. Like, so if we're talking about Kiki wants to, make a transition into space, NASA has their own TV station. You might go into space journalism, you might be writing up stories, you might be the one doing press releases for someone who might be more interested in the visual arts and they're really great at designing. That's mission patch, creation. Maybe they're designing the new astronaut suits. For those who are interested in the culinary arts, maybe they're nutritionists for astronauts. So really just showing them all the different ways, all of the millions of heroes that never get to leave the earth, and
Mhm.
some of the few that do, and how they can just utilize their talents in it. And also, it's just cool.
Mhm.
You know what I mean? I always say everyone is a space nerd. You just don't know it yet.
Okay.
And so it's really great. It's a great opportunity. We're the only museum in the world where you can see a real life spacecraft being built in real time, which is also really great. We have a lunar lander, which is like a space delivery truck that's
Mhm.
being built at our campus right now by Astrobotic Technology. It's called Griffin, and it's supposed to launch this July from Cape Canaveral in Florida, and then it actually will kick back to our campus where we have our own mission control. So Pittsburgh is at the forefront of space exploration right now, and it's really exciting to see.
I did see that. There are going to be some times where they have to, I guess, close the curtain because there's some things that you can't see. But to know that
Yeah,
that is right in front of you, like this is not just a pretend model, this is real. It will
yeah,
be in space. And so it's being assembled here, being built here
yeah,
in the city of Pittsburgh. And where Moonshot Museum is, it's on the north side, it's right behind Wendy's. Right behind Wendy's and McDonald's. I know you've been there.
yeah.
So it's right
And
there. And it's like, what? Oh my God, it's so amazing. Explain to our listeners and our viewers what they can find when they walk in because it is such an interactive
yeah.
museum. So it's not like the Children's Museum, but this is something really this is different and special. So once we walk through the doors at Moonshot
Yeah.
Museum, what can we experience? What can we see?
Yeah, so we are really big on hands-on learning, experiential learning. So we want you to touch things, we want you to interact with things, and that's everything from our theater. We have a giant theater,
Yep.
by definition. We have a giant theater, and then we have different exhibits. So people can expect to create their own rovers that can be on the moon surface. Representation is important, not only by profession, but by geographical region, by all the different, use a big word, intersectional components of a person, what makes a person a person. So we have real people and what inspired them. And can you find that? We have conversations about debates about how you would, if you had to govern over this, over the moon, and its settlement, how would you do that?
Hmm.
Talk about the past. So I always say we pay homage to the past, we present the present, and we focus on the future. And one of the other cool things that I really love is that we have two spots where our guests get to be a part of space history today. You don't have to be in the industry as a professional. You don't have to be 30 years old, 60 years old. You can be 5, you can be 20, you can be 15. And that's our mission patches and our message to the moon.
Hmm.
And with our partnership with Astrobotic, we load up all the patches that we get, all the messages that people write, and we put it on a micro SD card, and it actually gets to go to space. And that's just, breathtaking to show, especially our youth, that what they do now can make a difference. What they're doing now is important.
Hmm.
So I think that's absolutely amazing. And I'm just grateful that Astrobotic made that a part of our partnership is, to allow us to be a part of each and every project.
I love that. And even in the news today, knowing that the astronauts uh, splashed down early this week, just due to, they said not to say it's an emergency, but whatever their reasoning
Yeah.
was, they came back early.
Yeah.
What is that like to be a part of this industry and hearing that news? Like, what does Moonshot Museum do to prepare for something
Yeah.
like that? This was not even a question I prepared for, but I was like, oh, wait, let me
Yeah.
ask about that. So, how did you receive the news, and what does Moonshot Museum do to prepare for something like that?
Yeah, it's staying up to date with what goes on within the space industry. We actually have a grant with NASA as
Yeah.
well, which is really great to help kids understand the various professions that they can
Hmm.
do. So it's staying up to date with what NASA is saying. We have great relationships again with Astrobotic because we share a campus. And
Hmm.
so, just as everyone else is keeping up with the news, it's our job to keep up with the news as well and what's going
Hmm.
on with space
Hmm.
exploration. We talk a lot about, within science in general, how you test things, and that's what our students are learning in a classroom. You know what I mean? You hypothesize, you test, it either works or it doesn't. And so what
Hmm.
happens when things don't go as planned? And how do you still make a mission successful? You know what I mean? And what do you learn from that? So we talk about like the protocols. Last summer, we did a really great summer camp with 100 Black men, and we actually brought in an astronaut to talk to the students about the training and how how he prepared
Hmm.
and what sort of things can they expect. And it's just really important that they see these people, that they understand that they came from their same communities. One of the astronauts on that mission that you're talking about is Mike
Hmm.
Fink, who's from Pittsburgh,
Yep.
and he had the opportunity to come into the museum, and that was one of the he was actually the first astronaut that I met when I came
Wow.
into the museum. And we have a great photo of me explaining to him Griffin. And I'm looking back like, how surreal is it?
Right.
Kid from Wilkinsburg is sitting here explaining to an
To an
astronaut
astronaut.
what is this lunar lander in the clean room? And it just blew my mind. And he's just a great guy. So we talk about, all those things. And that's a part of our on-site programming too, is to show kids and have them have interactions with other current space professionals, whether it's through aerospace education, whether it's business development, technicians, engineers, graphic designers. We want them to see that the people that are making a difference are from this community,
Hmm.
that they look like them, that they're same from the same region as them. So it's really exciting. But just, staying up to date because we talked about a lot about Sonny and Butch as well, and the
Hmm.
preparation and the testing that they have to go through. So we use that as an educational opportunity to help the students understand what's going on. So
Hmm.
it's
And
exciting.
this is why we have to vote for Moonshot Museum to be the top 10. Right now, you're the top 20 science
We're,
museums in USA. Tell us what this contest is and what we have to vote for.
Yeah, yeah. So it's USA Today, top science museums in the country. And so it's kind of like a viewer's choice awards. So
Okay.
you know what I mean? You want to get nominated, and then from that nomination, it comes from a panel. So they have to look at these organizations, and then it's up to the consumers. It's up to the community to vote on which museums are doing the work, which
Mhm.
museums are showing up for the people, which museums are meeting their missions and their visions. So the last time I checked, we were number 11 out of 20, which is really good. And we're going up
That's
against
not
some
bad.
large museums. Exactly. We're going up against some large, world-renowned museums, and we're working, on increasing our footprint because we only do maybe 40% of our programs on site. The rest we're pushing into communities. We're going to the schools. We want to meet the people. We want to meet the community. We want to meet our students where they are at. And
Yeah.
sometimes that means going to their school. Sometimes that means showing up to man camp and charm school so that they have the opportunity to understand what's going on in the access. So it's exciting. I'm praying that we do well. So I'm just proud of my staff and my team
All
for,
right.
us
So
to even break top 20.
I'm excited. Get the votes in now. You can go to What's Good in Your Hood Pittsburgh on Facebook. The link is there. I'll see if I can pin it. But there's a link on your page or on the website. And like, how can folks find the link if maybe they don't have a Facebook page? How can they find the link?
Yeah, this is definitely something we can embed on our website.
Mhm.
We have social media
Right.
as well, and then a QR code at the
Okay.
museum. Come on down to the museum, a QR code for you to scan.
Okay.
But we just really appreciate the community showing up for us, and we just want to continue to make sure that we show up for the community.
And that's not going to stop. It's definitely
Yeah.
not going to stop. We need to do more in supporting our local organizations, especially if we're talking about space. Like, we've done enough on Earth. And some folks want to move to the moon. I'm like, you got that. But learn what you need to learn first before you start packing your boxes. Anything else you want to share with the audience, Jimyse?
Yeah. Yeah, we do a junior space conference every year. And it is built for our students. It's actually Pennsylvania's first space conference built just for kids. Did it out of Pittsburgh, which is really great. And we just take what we're learning from NASA. We take what we learn from other commercial space companies, which are just companies that aren't government entities, they're
Hmm.
private.
Hmm.
And we put it in a format for our kids to understand. It gives them, the opportunity to engage with each other, build things up. And so I say we're trying to spark curiosity to then inspire them to develop skills to then allow them a realistic opportunity to push into the industry.
Awesome.
Um, so reach out if you have, students in need, schools in need, communities in need, please reach out to us. We want to make sure that we try to, break down as many barriers as possible.
Hmm.
We don't want, something like transportation, something like finances to stop our kids from gaining access to things that they deserve the opportunity to explore. So I'm just really excited. I appreciate you. I appreciate all that you do for our community and making sure that, stories are told.
Thank you, Sora. I appreciate you. And moonshotmuseum.com is the website. Make sure you follow them on socials and just show them some love, okay? Because they're showing it right back, from not just to us, but beyond us. And I mean beyond, like in the space, like real space. Not like space here, but like space, outer space. Dr. Jimyse Brown, my so sweet soror, it's always love.
Yes,
Thank you
ma'am.
so much for giving us your time and for telling us what's good in your hood.